Ang problema kasi hindi naman kayo matalino, tapos mga hirit ninyo panay mga kabubuhan na ganyan. Tapos parang yung yung parang sinasadya yung maging bobo. I mean, how can we talk to you when you cannot even understand simple terms like confidential fund?
Correct.
How can we talk to you if you cannot even if you cannot even understand restitution?
Correct.
'Di ba?
Correct.
Sa totoo lang hirap makipag-usap sa inyo kasi ang tatanga nyo. At lagi nyo pinipiling maging tanga. 'Di ba? Paano tayo makakapag-usap about policies niyan?
Correct. I agree.
'Di ba? So yun. Ngayon, not unless we would be able to bring everyone in in the ship of Duterte aligned politics, we're not going to stop. Because we know that is the best way to approach our problem as a nation.
Correct.
We get leaders na hindi nagdidiktahan ng mga oligarchs. We get a leader who would prioritize the welfare of the people. We choose leaders who are not scared to make hard decisions. We elect leaders who will not accept compromises at the expense of ordinary Filipinos. Yun yung gusto namin. Yun yung gusto namin. 'Di ba? So ngayon kayo, kung ang lang ninyo, kung ang banat-banat niyo lang sa amin is ito nga nakakatawa tiyo dahil yung mga Duterte supporter, yung mga Duterte haters, ng DDH. Yung mga DDH, sabi nila, we cannot stand, we'd rather choose a Marcos who steal rather than an Inday Sara presidency.
Correct.
Yan yung sabi nila. And di ba, what does that say? Ibig sabihin, anong gusto niyo para sa bansa? Tangina, ang gusto niyo lang, kayo ang mamuno. Ang gusto niyo lang, kayo magkaroon kayo ng opportunity na kayo naman ang magnanakaw. Di ba? Kasi tinotolerate ko yung nakawan ng mga Marcos eh. Magnanakaw din kayo. Pag kayo yung napunta sa kapangyarihan, magiging mga magnanakaw din kayo. So ngayon, yung mga yung mga DDH, ganun yung kanilang layunin. Sabi nila na we'd rather choose a Marcos who steal, a Marcos presidency who steals rather than an Inday Sara presidency. Ngayon, updated na.
Ano daw?
We'd rather choose a drug addict Marcos who steals rather than an Inday Sara presidency. Tio, someone actually, I talked to someone who is very, very close to the kitchen, who said that the insertion under the instruction of Bongbong Marcos per year, simula nung naging presidente si Bongbong Marcos, yung first national budget under his administration, which is 2023 budget, 100 billion ang ini-instruct ni Bongbong na i-insert sa national budget. This will directly flow to Malacanang, the first family, and the cabinet members. Now, hindi kasi natin hindi kasi detalyado kasi yung mga documents na binigay ni Saldico for 2023 and 2024. But for 2025, he provided list of projects amounting to 100 billion pesos na mga identified na mga projects that Saldico is saying was inserted. Okay?
Correct.
Ngayon, I would just like to point this out because si Shelo Magno, sinabi kasi ni Shelo Magno na mas maganda sana kung pinangalanan kung sinong congressman, kung sinong sabi ni Shelo Magno, alam na namin na guilty si BBM. Pinirmahan nga ang 2025 budget na sabi namin ay i-veto. Mas magiging maganda ang pasabog ni Saldi kung ilalabas ang insertion ng bawat congressman at senador, sino mga contractor at sinong nangolekta ng kickback. I think this is really very stupid on part of Shelo Magno. Why? Because Saldico already said, pinangalanan na nga niya kung sino yung nag-insert. Ang nag-insert nga si Bongbong Marcos. So therefore, if you want to know who inserted the 100 billion, if you want the 100 billion to be refuted, it should be Bongbong Marcos who should identify, no, this insertion did not come from me.
Exactly.
This insertion did not come from me. It come from someone else. Diba? So, i-refute niya yung sinasabi ni Saldico na yung 100 billion na insertion is really coming from a congressman, a senator, from the legislative legislative branch of the government at hindi sa executive branch. However, the information that Saldico provided is verifiable. Kasi ang sinasabi nga dito ni Saldico is, i-compare nyo yung 100 billion worth of projects dito sa listahan na to, kung nag-appear yan sa NEP, nag-appear yan sa GAA, edi hindi yan insertion. Kung hindi yan nag-appear sa NEP at nag-appear yan sa GAA, edi ibig sabihin insertion yan. 'Di ba? Start muna tayo doon. Ang sinasabi nga dito ni Saldico, yung 100 billion na yon, si Bongbong ang nagpa-insert. 'Di ba? Why don't you ask Shelo Magno, Bongbong Marcos,
kasi nga,
to identify all those insertion as sponsored by someone else and not him.
Correct.
Diba?
Because nga, this is how I understand the situation here. They cannot openly attack BBM because that would endanger their political alignment in 2028. Kasi ang nililigawan ng mga kakampings ngayon ay ang mga Marcos loyalists. Alam naman natin ng mga bobo yung mga Marcos loyalists. Hindi yung nag-iisip, mga kulto yun sila eh, 'di ba? Ganyan. So nililigawan yan ng mga kakampings. So if they are able to court BBM well and play with his politics, then automatically if mag-i-endorse yan si BBM, at the very least may makukuha silang vote. And remember, from 2016 and in 2022, yung vote ceiling ng presidential candidate nila ay nasa 16 million lang. It didn't change. The only person who is able to change the vote ceiling ng mga kakamping ay si Bam Aquino, because in 2025 elections, naka 20 million votes si Bam Aquino kung hindi ako nagkakamali. So that's an additional 4 to 5 million votes nga sa kakamping na vote ceiling. So meaning to say, since 2016, they are unsuccessful of allowing more people to join them and to vote for their political candidates. Ang nakikita natin ngayon in 2022, di ba? In 2016, Digong has around magkano ba? Mga 16, 17 million votes, 15, 16, 17 million votes. But in 2019, if hindi ako nagkakamali, si Bongo was able to get in 2022, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, si Robin was able to get 20 plus million votes. Meaning to say, yung base ng DDS dumadami. Mas marami yung nag-a-add sa kanila. And in 2022, kung nakikita ninyo, nasa the same vote ceiling ang mga kakampings. Now, come 2025, mas lalong dumami. Kasi in 2022, VP Sara received 32 million votes, right? The highest vote counts ever listed or ever happened in Philippine election history. Si VP Sara lang ang wala pa naka-break ng record na yan. And ngayon, in 2025, despite the political noise, despite the political instability happening now in the status quo, Bongo still able to receive 27 million votes. So kung nakikita ninyo, hindi bumababa ang vote ceiling ng mga DDS sa 25 million. And that 25 million is something na gustong abutin ng mga kakampings. That's why they are playing around Bongbong Marcos now. Now, regardless of how corrupt his administration is, they cannot call him out, they cannot openly attack him, they cannot maneuver an impeachment, they cannot remove him, or they don't want to have him resign from his position because of that political realignment. Because again, these kakampings are expecting that the 31 million votes of Bongbong Marcos will be reflected to the political candidate that Bongbong Marcos would endorse in 2028, which is already very wrong, because in 2025 senatorial elections, konti lang yung pumasok sa senatorial lineup ni BBM. May nakapasok, but these are actually independent political parties, not exactly coming from the Partido Federal or the Lakas CMD. So mali, shaky na, wala na silang solid following or solid political base. So ang ginagawa nila ngayon, they want to attack VP Sara and permanently remove her from office, because si VP Sara ang balakid sa lahat ng mga plano nila sa politika. With VP Sara still standing, still alive and kicking in the office of the Vice President, they find it very, very difficult to penetrate the bases or the political bases that can help them out win the elections in 2028. Kaya samot-saring kaso ang pina-file, kahit anong demolition job ang ginagawa nila. And notice, despite the flood control issue, they are passing the blame to the previous administration. Because again, nabulgar na yung ghost flood control projects nila, gusto nilang i-divert yung attention ng masa sa mga pangyayari in 2016 and 2022 para ang i-blame nila sa lahat ay ang administrasyong Duterte. Because again, Duterte, si Tatay Digong, Duterte si VP Sara, it would be easier for them to use that narrative that kung ano yung mga projects na hindi nagawa ni Tatay Digong, yan din yung mga projects na hindi kayang gawin ni VP Sara. Guilt by association, yan yung mga ginagawa nila. So kung nakikita nyo, this is really about politics. This is no longer about the country. And there is only one person who is doing this for the country. And that is Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Bakit? Vice President Sara Duterte, pwede lang naman siyang maglaro. pwede na naman ayaw niyang pakialaman ang corruption scheme happening in the administration of Bongbong Marcos. Pwede naman na ito sa DepEd, di ba? 20 billion, Inday, sa'yo yung 5 billion, sa amin itong 10 billion, and yung another 5 billion para sa project yan sa DepEd. Di ba? More money, more campaign funds. Yan, Inday, ganyan tayo. Yan yung gawin natin. But, for the love of the country, VP Sara did not allow that. Instead, VP Sara exposed how they gang up on the budget of the Department of Education in 2023. Kasi nga, sinasabi ni VP Sara, may paper trail yan because VP Sara does not accuse someone without any evidence. So kung nakikita ninyo, ang ni-request lang ng DepEd at that time is 5 billion for the classroom construction. Nung na-receive ni VP Sara, yung sa General Appropriations Act, naging 15 billion. So ang sinasabi ni VP Sara, ako ang mananagot dyan because yung project ko sa DepEd worth 5 billion lang siya para ma-hit yung target. Ang nilagay ninyo is 15 billion. Now, pagdating sa COA, ako ang tatanungin, nasaan ang 10 billion? Ikaw ang secretary ng DepEd, bakit hindi mo alam? Kaya VP Sara resigned from her position as DepEd secretary because hindi niya na masikmura. Again, easy lang sana mas lalong yayaman sana si VP Sara. Kunin niya lang yung pera. Maging figure lang siya dyan sa DepEd. Gawa lang siya ng project. But then again, she did not give in to the demands of Bongbong Marcos, Martin Romualdez, and Zaldico. Kaya, expose ni VP Sara na bakit pa tayo nagba-budget hearing na kung hindi nyo naman tinitingnan yung budget proposal ng isang agency because ang nasusunod lang sa budget ng Pilipinas ay 2 tao, Martin Romualdez and Zaldico. At first, we didn't believe her. I mean, you guys didn't believe her because ako naniwala talaga ako sa kanya. Kami na Joey and the rest of the DDS community. Hindi kayo naniwala, kayo mga kakampings, kayo mga Marcos loyalists. Hindi kayo naniniwala. Sinasabi nyo, desperate lang yan because she can't answer the confidential funds, which is, by the way, just 125 million. 200% increase pa ang kailangan niya to get the 100 billion that Bongbong Marcos has inserted. Okay? So, ang nangyayari dyan is, malabo na. But there was an attempt to reconcile with VP Sara. Ang sinasabi nila, hindi ka na namin i-attack sa confidential fund mo. Just be one of us. But then again, VP Sara stepped back and said, hey, no, I will face all of you. You guys remember yung isang interview ni VP Sara na sinasabi niya, first time kasi nila nakakita ng isang tao na IDGAF, na I don't give a fuck. Because sinasabi ni VP Sara, I have nothing to lose.
Correct.
I have nothing to lose.
That's
Sinasabi niya.
the exact reason why Inday Sara is the best leader for our country at this point, because she is the best person to combat corruption. She doesn't enter into compromise. She doesn't owe anyone a thing. Dahil lahat na ng tao, tinraidor siya. Lahat ng mga tao, tinalikuran siya. Lahat binabanatan siya. Diba? And if Inday is going to be in power, if Bongbong Marcos is going to vacate the presidential position and Inday Sara becomes the president, she doesn't owe anyone a thing. And she would be able to do her job, clean up the government, and fight corruption without giving any favor to anyone. Yun yung power ni Inday Sara. At yun yung power ni Inday Sara na hindi kaya ng mga kalaban niyang tanggapin. Kasi, at one point, ang mga politiko kasi, they live and die with compromises.
Correct.
Diba? And si Inday Sara, hindi siya ganun. Hindi siya ganun. She has very, very wing room for compromises. Kumbaga parang, yung mga kompromisong acceptable sa kanya is very, very few. Hindi siya katulad ng ibang mga politiko na bendalo, ganyan. Right. Diba? Hindi siya ganun. So, whether they like it or not, the reason why they are scared to have an Inday Sara presidency is because alam nila, hindi nila mapapaikot si Inday Sara. Hindi nila maluloko.
Correct.
The oligarchs cannot break her.
Correct.
The politicians cannot break her.
Fun fact lang.
So that's why they don't like
2019, bumuo yan ng si VP Sara, parang political alliance, yung hugpong ng pagbabago. It's it's a regional political political party or political group. Okay? Pero at that time, kuha niya kasi ang Visayas and Mindanao, at pati sa Luzon ata, ganyan. Ang daming mga politiko na lumapit kay VP Sara. And kung hindi ako nagkakamali, di ba 12 senators ang kailangang ipanalo? 9 senators ang naipanalo ni VP Sara because of that alliance. Meaning to say, walang utang na loob si VP Sara sa mga politiko, kundi yung mga politiko ang may utang na loob kay VP Sara. Now, fast forward in 2022, maraming party list ang nagpa-endorse kay VP Sara because grabe yung hatak, ang lakas ng humpong ng pagbabago at that time as well. Maraming mga politiko ang nagpaano. Number 1 dyan ay ang PBA party list, yung party list ng mga Nograles. Talo na yan. But because of VP Sara's endorsement, tinaas ni VP Sara ang kamay, nanalo. 'Di ba? Second is yung Marino. Ang Marino, wala yan, hindi yan mananalo. Sino ba yan sila? Hindi natin kilala, 'di ba? Parang hindi matunog yung mga pangalan, not visible on social media, not also visible sa political landscape ng Philippines. But then again, because of VP Sara's endorsement, nanalo. Now in 2025, nag-attempt tumakbo itong mga party list na ito. Natalo. So meaning to say, the endorsement of VP Sara still matters. Now in 2028, that is the kind of endorsement that local and national politicians want to get, because without the endorsement, it would be difficult for them to win the 2028 elections. Kaya ngayon guys, yung mga nag-sign ng impeachment case ni VP Sara, hinay-hinay na silang nagso-sorry. Hinay-hinay na silang, anong tawag dyan? Nag-i-explain bakit daw sila nag-sign ng impeachment. And then, anong ginawa? Itama nyo yung ginawa ninyong mali. And again, walang utang na loob si VP Sara. Kaya, nakakatakot siya maging president. Because, wala siyang utang na loob, hindi hawak ang liig niya ng mga politiko, siya pa ang may hawak sa hawak niya pa ang liig ng ibang politiko. So ganyan si VP Sara. Now, sa nakikita natin kahapon, 'di ba, grabe yung expose ni Senator Amy Marcos. For example, kung ikaw, kapatid mo si Bongbong Marcos, president yan, 'di ba? Pwede naman sana i-enjoy lang ni Amy Marcos yung perks niya, the perks that she is getting, because nga presidential sister siya And at the same time, senator, anak niya governor, mga ganyan. Pwede niyang i-enjoy yan lahat. But then Amy Marcos came out, she came upstage and talked about the addiction of Bongbong Marcos, his kids and his wife, including his friends and the many celebrities that are, involved in cocaine use. Sinabi lahat ni Amy Marcos. Now, why are we ngayon, dapat sana, kung pro-good governance ang mga kakamping, dapat they should join Amy Marcos in her call to have BBM resign from his position. Bakit? Okay, ganito yon. Kasi under the Constitution, if the president is incapacitated, may grounds yan. Death, ano pa nga yun, Joey? Death, yung sa
resign,
resignation,
or indisposed.
Yung mga ganyan.
Kung cannot perform the duties.
Yeah, the duties, ganyan. Ano na yan? Meaning to say, dapat magre-resign si BBM or the Congress would do something to ensure the Filipino people, whether or not the president is still fit to lead the nation. And sa nakikita nga natin, sinasabi ni Amy Marcos na unfit to lead na si Bongbong Marcos. Na kung unfit to lead na ang president, why is this detrimental to the Filipino people, the ordinary Filipino citizens? Because yung chain of command, in terms of the military side, the military aspect, if the president or if the commander-in-chief is incapable of rationally thinking or making sound decisions for the national security, it would compromise not only the armed forces of the Philippines but also the sovereignty, because pwede yang pasukin ng mga dayuhan, i-invade tayo, boom. Ang lalong-lalo na ngayon
national security issue yan.
Correct. Ang lalong-lalo na ngayon na there is a tension between China and the United States of America. Okay? Secondly, in terms of national disaster response, kung hindi nagbre-briefing ng maayos yung president, because we are a bureaucracy it would be hard for the cabinet members to also do their task, or the head of every agency task in the National Disaster Risk and Management, ganyan. It would be easier for them to mobilize without a sane person or a mentally equipped person to do the chain of command responsibility. Kaya kung nakikita ninyo ngayon, 'di ba, maraming casualties sa recent na flooding, sa recent na typhoons, maraming namatay, maraming missing, hindi nabibigyan ng ayuda and kung ano-ano pang mga bagay because nga the head of the chain of command is already incapable of leading his subordinates who are doing the job in helping out mitigate the risk and the effects or the impacts of a natural disaster. Yan yung detriments na na pwede nating makuha as Filipinos if we will continue to support Bongbong Marcos despite him being unfit of leading the nation. And again, if you claim that you are pro good governance, it's not good governance when the head of the nation, when the leader, number one leader of the nation, is already incapable of leading. Or hindi niya na kayang gampanan ang mga tasks and roles niya as president of the country. Ang hindi namin maintindihan because those people who are very loud in claiming that they are pro good governance are the same people who are so silent now. The same people who are attacking Amy Marcos for exposing a drug addict president and now defending a drug addict president. Well, I'm not surprised, Joey, because in 2016 to 2022, pinagtatanggol din nila ang mga drug addict. So ngayon that we have allegedly a drug addict president, ang pinagtatanggol naman nila ang drug addict president. Good governance ba yan? Hindi yan good governance. So wala yan. So, ito yung sinasabi namin guys that there's more to life than, politics. There's more in the Philippines than just what meets the eye, okay? Maraming mga bagay na dapat nating i-consider. Kung nagkamali man ang mga DDS or yung mga bumoto kay Bongbong Marcos in 2022, at the very least, they are holding him accountable now because he failed to deliver the things that he promised us in 2022. And we will never vote for Bongbong Marcos again. Unlike with the kakampings who are now as leaking Bongbong Marcos, who are now pro Bongbong Marcos, who are now defending Bongbong Marcos after trashing him, after calling him magnanakaw with all the hashtag never again. Pero ngayon, friends na sila. Never against BBM na pala, kahit binababoy na ang bansang Pilipinas. That is hypocrisy, and hypocrisy is like a boil, and lancing a boil will never be pleasant. Mabaho yan. So you guys, think twice. Enough with your politics. Think of the country first, okay? Political differences will always be there. But in times of crisis, who suffers? The ordinary Filipino citizens. So stop with your one-sided political belief and your selective outrage because it does more harm than good to the Filipino populace. Yun lang naman. Do you have anything else to add, Joey?
Ano ba? Well, at this point kasi, nagawa na ni Sen Aimee yung hinihingi natin sa kanya. Nagawa na ni Sen Aimee yung hinihingi natin.
Yan yung hinihintay natin na magsalita siya about the addiction of her brother.
And I think, let us avoid those people who would try to complicate things and make it about themselves. Na, tama kami, mag-apologize kayo sa amin dahil tama kami. Parang, kagaya nung yung mga people who are very theatrics in their approach sa political vlogging. You really need to be very very careful on these people kasi unang-una social issues pinag-uusapan natin. It is never about the content creator.
Correct.
It is always about the message. Okay? Walang hindi ko gets wala namang naniniwala na hindi addict si BBM eh. Lahat tayo naniniwala na addict si BBM. Even if may mga videos na lumabas na nagko-cocaine si BBM at maraming nagko-question tungkol doon sa video na yon na nagko-cocaine si BBM, a lot of people would say that while I do not believe the video is true, I believe that BBM is an addict. Ganyan. So ngayon, yung mga tao dyan who makes the issue as who makes the issue about themselves.
Correct.
Ekis na yan. Huwag nyo nang anuhin yan. Huwag na kayo mag-aksaya ng panahon nyo sa mga klaseng tao na yan. Kasi ibig sabihin, they are really not here to solve the problem. They are here for the clout. Correct. They are here for the popularity. They are here because they have an insatiable need to be relevant. Diba? And sa totoo lang, okay lang naman maging relevant kung yan yung gusto mo. But you really need to show that you are something worth noticing.
Exactly.
Diba?
And if I may add, Joey, why are you guys inserting Leni Robredo in the conversation? Because if Leni Robredo really is a good leader, then she should have won the presidency compared to Bongbong Marcos. Correct. Now the problem is, you failed to give Leni Robredo the president position.
Correct. Despite
Kasalanan din ninyo. Kasi hindi nyo na ipanalo si Leni Robredo. If magaling siya, if your product is not defective, then it should have been easier for you to sell Leni Robredo in 2022. Because as I mentioned earlier, election really is a number game.
Correct.
Diba? You have to get more people to rally behind your cause. You have to get more people to, vote for the political figure that you guys are supporting.
Natalo kayo ng someone who has a lot of baggage, historical baggage. Natalo kayo ng someone na tinatawag ninyong magnanakaw, na tinatawag ninyong bobo, na tinatawag niyo ng kung ano-ano pa na morally bankrupt. Natalo yung sinasabi ninyong magaling. What does that make you?
Exactly. You guys didn't realize that.
Na parang yung mga tao, tangina ang pinipili nila, yung opposite na sinasabi ninyo.
Exactly.
What is the meaning of that? It means you are at the bottom of the barrel.
Exactly. And you guys are dismal failure. You really are a dismal failure because hindi nyo na ipapanalo ang taong sinasabi ninyong magaling, ang taong sinasabi ninyong matalino, lawyer, economist. Di ba? Dapat easy lang. Nabenta nyo sana siya na maayos. And you could have gained more people to vote for Leni Robredo, but you failed to do so. Again, because you are not doing what is right. It is not right na ang sinasabi ninyo mga one-liner arguments niyo, tama nga kami, mali kayo. Let me educate you. Kulay rosas ang bukas. The last man standing is a woman. Is that even an argument? Do you think the class C, D, and E understands that? Di ba? Sabihin niyo, liwanag sa dilim. Paano naging liwanag si Leni sa dilim? May flashlight siya? May spotlight siya? Di ba? Mali ang ginagawa ninyo. Instead of pulling more people to vote, you are pushing them away because ang yayabang ninyo. Na para bang you guys are so righteous na wala kayong mga kasalanan. Pero kung tingnan nyo naman ang Twitter, nandun lahat ng altar, mga kakampings, nagbebembangan, nag-orgy, nagtitrisam, ganyan. Kayo din ang #1 contributor ng AIDS sa Pilipinas. Meaning, wala kayong mga discipline. Yan yung sinasabi ko dito. Di ba? If you really think na magaling si Leni Robredo, bakit hindi nyo siya naipanalo? Dapat easier sana dapat natalo ninyo ang magnanakaw na sinasabi ninyo, ang abusive na sinasabi ninyo, yung drug addict na sinasabi ninyo in 2022.
Correct.
Again, hindi nyo naipanalo because you guys are not doing what is right. You are doing all the wrong things during election and you are doing it once again from this time. You are doing it once again. Hindi pa rin kayo mananalo. And remember because of the INC endorsement, nagkaroon ng 5 million additional votes si Bam Aquino. That 5 million additional votes, if you will deduct it to the votes that Bam Aquino received in 2025 senatorial elections, that would go back to the vote ceiling you have from 2016, which is around 15 million to 16 million. Hindi kayo dumadami. Hindi kayo nakakakuha ng more people to vote for the political figures that you are supporting. You need the INC endorsement in order to have Bam Aquino win and Kiko Aquino win the elections. Questionable pa nga yan kaya nga may maraming petition sa COMELEC ngayon. So, yan yung problema ninyo.
Correct. Ayun. So, anyway, yun yung aking very important message. Kasi, yung mga tao ngayon, lalo na dito sa social media, one of the reasons kung bakit mahirap magpakalat ng balita kasi yung mga content creator na critical sa government, sina-shadow ban na yan. Sina-shadow ban kami kasi nililimit talaga yung yung pag-consume ng mga point of views na sinishare namin. But there are a lot of people who are sharing trash pero nagsisyndicate talaga ng bonggang-bongga yung kanilang mga content. So you have to be very, very careful. You have to be very, very discerning doon sa i-consume nyo na information. And one of the tests that I all want you to look at is if they are making it about themselves, especially in critical times like this. If they are making the issue about themselves, lumayo na po kayo dyan. Tingnan nyo, tama kami, ganyan. Yung mga ganon. Kasi parang, dude, this is not a contest. Diba?
Also ang mga kakamping kasi, they really thought na tayo, for example sobrang hirap talaga natin, Joey. Like, yung kahit isang tuka, ganyan, hindi po kami ganyan. Nakaka-shopping po kami. Tingnan nyo mga damit namin with brands and everything, di ba? Shoes ko, hindi mo mababa sa 30,000 yung price. Hindi, what I'm saying is this. Kami, ginagawa namin ito because we wanted to put a conversation in social media para mabasa ng mga tao so they can form their opinions out from the opinions that we are peddling. online. Okay? Kasi nga, if there is a conversation, yung judgment ng tao, kasi ako, for example, pag nagre-read ako, kahit kakamping pa yan, oh, tama din siya sa punto na ito.
It's
Ganun
actually
ako,
very easy to
I am not
admit,
hating the messenger. I am not hating the messenger and I'm also not attacking the messenger. Unless siguro kung yung mga troll na yan, mga dami accounts na yan, pinapatulan ko yan ng ad hominem. But if the conversation or if that person, peddles a very good narrative, I try to, debunk or refute or maybe add on to that opinion piece or to that article, because again, the reading public or our following and that following of that person would have a leverage and they can weigh things out ba if sino yung nagsasabi ng tama. Mas maintindihan nila kung ano yung value na pinaglalaban ng tao na to at ng taong ito. Yan yung gusto namin. Ang hirap kasi sa inyo is, you are attacking the messenger as if naman nasasaktan kami. Do you think mag-continue kami sa social media kung may effect pa yung mga bashing nyo? Hindi na. Because aside from that, we are earning from your bashing. Do you think magkaka-Japan ako kung wala akong extra income? Parang ganyan. Hindi nyo yan gets that we are banking on your hatred, we are banking on your kabubuhan para mas lalo kaming magkapera. Ganyan. So, but anyway, it's the platform that is giving us, the ano tawag dyan? The perk. The same with the other vloggers who are vlogging food, travel, lifestyle, ganyan. So, it's not different with us that we are, vlogging or vlogging political the political contents, di ba? Parang ganyan. So, yun, ang gusto lang namin naman is we are helping, but we are trying to put a premium to the political conversation because that is what the ordinary Filipino citizens should hear and receive online and offline.
It's part of it is part of
it's part of a democratic country. It's a democracy because when someone is free to air his or her sentiments online, then that proves that we are still in a democratic country.
It's part of nation building. It's not kasi in a democratic country. It is always about. Ay, mag-thank you lang ako kay Mocha Princess and Mind the Nurse. Thank you very much for the super sticker. But going back to my point, sinasabi ko to ever since Tio This is the reason why I am vlogging. In a democratic system, you always need numbers.
Correct.
You always, you are bound to respect the decision of the majority. Ay, kita mo kusa ka na. You always need to respect the decision of the majority. So you need to have a very, very persuasive skill in order to bring more people in your boat. Okay? Kailangan pasakayin mo yung mga tao doon sa bangka mo. Okay? Sa ship mo. So that you're going to sail together. Okay? Now, in order to get a lot of people to your boat, to your ship, okay? You tell them, ano ba ang gusto nyong lakbayin? Ano ba ang gusto ninyo para sa bansa ninyo? Ano ba yung mga problema ng mga bansa natin at paano natin to susolusyonan? So, that is why it's very, very important that the public perception, the public psyche, and the public understanding, our national consciousness should be at a level that we are all very discerning, we are all smart, we are all objective, level-headed, that we are all looking at the problem as it is, na klaro sa ating lahat kung ano yung direksyon na gusto natin para sa bansa natin. So that is why we are having public discourse like this. Diba? At the end of the day, kaya tayo nagbabardagulan dito, kaya tayo nag-aaway-aaway dito, kaya tayo nagpapalitan ng mga kuro-kuro dito, because we want to know, we want to sharpen our national consciousness in so far as to what direction we should adopt as a nation. Ang problema kasi, you refuse to be intelligent. You refuse, a lot of especially the DDH, they refuse to be intelligent. They refuse to really engage in an intellectual discussion. Many of the DDH are intellectually dishonest. Nagaya lang nito nung kanina, sabi niya ganun, this is not a contest, pero sabi niyo Battle of the Champions to, yung mga ganyan-ganyan. I do not know if you literally do not understand the context or you're just too dumb to understand.
Too dumb to
understand.
That's correct.
Kasi parang ang sinasabi natin dito na this is not a contest is when you are making a point, when you are trying to explain something, it is not about the messenger, it is always about the message. Okay? Nung sinasabihan kayo na huwag kayong makialam pagka kunwari nag-aaway-away mga Duterte supporters among themselves, o di kaya yung Marcos camp at saka Duterte camp, especially yung Marcos camp at saka Duterte camp, kasi doon kayo sinasabihan na hindi kayo kasali kasi championship round yun eh. Mga away ng mga nanalo yun. Okay? Pag sinasabi yung ganong part, ibig sabihin, yung kaguluhan na yon, because you're not part of the winner circle, doon ka lang sa tabi. Diba? Not unless, of course, you are going to give us input that is intelligent enough, that is worth noticing.
Correct.
'Di ba? Ang problema kasi hindi naman kayo matalino, tapos mga hirit ninyo panay mga kabubuhan na ganyan. Tapos parang yung yung parang sinasadya yung maging bobo. I mean, how can we talk to you when you cannot even understand simple terms like confidential fund?
Correct.
How can we talk to you if you cannot even if you cannot even understand restitution?
Correct.
'Di ba?
Correct.
Sa totoo lang hirap makipag-usap sa inyo kasi ang tatanga nyo. At lagi nyo pinipiling maging tanga. 'Di ba? Paano tayo makakapag-usap about policies niyan?
Correct. I agree.
'Di ba? So yun. Ngayon, not unless we would be able to bring everyone in in the ship of Duterte aligned politics, we're not going to stop. Because we know that is the best way to approach our problem as a nation.
Correct.
We get leaders na hindi nagdidiktahan ng mga oligarchs. We get a leader who would prioritize the welfare of the people. We choose leaders who are not scared to make hard decisions. We elect leaders who will not accept compromises at the expense of ordinary Filipinos. Yun yung gusto namin. Yun yung gusto namin. 'Di ba? So ngayon kayo, kung ang lang ninyo, kung ang banat-banat niyo lang sa amin is ito nga nakakatawa tiyo dahil yung mga Duterte supporter, yung mga Duterte haters, ng DDH, yung mga DDH sabi nila, we cannot stand, we'd rather choose a Marcos who steal rather than an Inday Sara presidency.
Correct.
Yan yung sabi nila. And di ba, what does that say? Ibig sabihin, anong gusto niyo para sa bansa? Tangina, ang gusto niyo lang, kayo ang mamuno. Ang gusto niyo lang, kayo magkaroon kayo ng opportunity na kayo naman ang magnanakaw. Di ba? Kasi tinotolerate ko yung nakawan ng mga Marcos eh. Magnanakaw din kayo. Pag kayo yung napunta sa kapangyarihan, magiging mga magnanakaw din kayo. Ayan. Roma, thank you very much for the super stickers.
Ako yun, mag-thank you din ako sa mga nag-send ng stars. Appreciate ko sa. Baka may mag-send ng 1,000 stars dyan, huwag kayong mahiya. Charot. So, Papa Bads Vlog, Visa, Nancy Salvador Loque, Ayani, Jack and Esper, Nat Yumi, Jess Solitaire, Amik Garciniego, Rosalie Cuarte Lacuanan, Alan Ramwell, Danilo Buen Jr., thank you sir, Ingrid Amon Hanari Kim, thank you Hanara, Gary Mesel J, So Rich, Angel Birth Pangayaw, Cheryl Marie, Tin, Twitzer, Visa. Thank you so much guys sa mga nag-send ng stars. Okay, wow, ito na naman, additional na naman si Hanari Kim na stars.
Wow,
so,
ayan. Thank you very much.
So, ito, tama.
Let me just finish my point dun sa sinasabi ko. Ayan. So, ngayon, yung mga, yung mga DDH, ganun yung kanilang layunin. Sabi nila na, we'd rather choose a Marcos who steal, a Marcos presidency who steals, rather than an Inday Sara presidency. Ngayon, updated na.
Ano daw?
We'd rather choose a drug addict Marcos who steals rather than an Inday Sara presidency. O, di ba?
Correct.
Di ba? Ganyan kayo kabulok. Ganyan kabulok ang mga anti-Duterte hater. Mga anti-Duterte.
Tapos isa pa ha,